Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to actually do a translation or make a translation. So the first thing I want to tell or talk about is what is a translation. So a translation is a transformation that slides the shape around. It does not flip the shape, just slides. So it's like moving it around, but it doesn't flip it at all. It stays the same way. All the points and the vertices stay in the same place. It's just being slid around. So an example of that would be looking at or selecting this. So let's see, draw here. So if you see, I drew like a red box around the shape. So it's like if I took the shape and I slid it over here, slid it down here, slid it over here, slid it over there. So that's what a translation is. It's just sliding it around. It's not flipping it at all. It's just kind of moving it around the coordinate grid. So in translation, you'll always be given a direction. So I'm going to delete that. And I'm going to actually erase this. So to do a translation, you have to translate each point. So for example, let's look at number 1 here. It says 8 units left and 7 units up. So to do that, I have to translate each point. So I'm going to start at K, and I'm going to translate it. 8 units left. So K is here. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 7 units up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So my new point is actually going to be right there where that red dot is. And I'm going to actually label that because this is K. You learn in the next video that the new point is always labeled K prime, which just indicates that's the new point or that's the image. This was the pre-image, that's the image. So that's kind of how I can tell which is the translated part and what was the original figure. So this is the original here. And we're going to translate it. So I'm going to do the same thing with every point. So I'm going to go back to X, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to count 8 units left and 7 units up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 7 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So right there, that grid line is going to be my X prime. And then the next is R. So I'm going to do the same thing with R. So 8 units left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 7 units up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that would be here. And then I'm going to use, well, let me label it first. So that would be R prime. Okay, and so now once I have that, I can connect my dots. So I'm going to use my computer, but if you were graphing this by hand, you would certainly just draw the line. And do the best I can. This is not going to be perfect. And I'm going to do it from here to this point here. And then another one from this point here. So you can kind of see now this triangle, all I did was move it from here to here. So another thing they might ask you to do is they might ask you to list the actual points of K of the image or your translation. So K prime, and this is where you have to use your coordinate grid. I'm going to count over, start at 0. K prime is going to be -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. So my x coordinate is -5. My y coordinate is 1, 2, 3, 4. My x prime is going to be -1, 2, 3, 4. So -4. up 1, 2, 3, 4, so negative 4, 4. And then finally r prime is going to be negative 5, 1, 2. So that is my new translated image, okay? For the next one, it says translate 4 units left and 1 unit down. So I'm going to do this one a little faster, but it's the same way. I got to translate each point. So I'll use blue here. So 4 units left is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 unit down. So my new point, my new x is going to be there. And I'll just label that x prime. Then I'll do the same thing with e. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 down. That would be e prime. And then I can connect those just to kind of see my shape here a little bit. Okay, perfect. And then I'm going to do the other points. So 4 units left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 down. That's going to be my v prime. And z, same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 down. That's my z prime there. So now I'm just going to connect my dots with the lines here. We can just bring this down here. And then I'll do it again. V prime. And this is not going to be exact because it's computer and math is better on paper anyways. And then so as you can see, my image is the same as the pre-image. It just moved. The sides are still the same. The angles are still the same. These two shapes are still congruent. So that's one of the things you'll talk congruency. They're both congruent because no angles are changing. It's not being stretched or compressed. It's just simply moving around the grid. Okay, so if you go down to this question, I want to talk about questions that might look like this. So it says, before it told us exactly how to move. This one kind of uses notation. So if you look, it's going to tell you to take any point on the grid, x, y, and it's telling you take the x value and add 6 to it. And you'll get what, and then the y value you just leave alone. So if you look at your x-axis, that's right here. You're actually going to move 6 units in a positive direction. So actually you're going to be moving from side to side when you do this. So you're moving right because it's positive, 6 units because it's happening to x. Okay, so you can do that, or you can actually take each coordinate. So if I take the g coordinate, which in this case is negative 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if it's negative 4, 5, I'm going to actually add 6 to that x value. So if I add 6 to negative 4, I get 2. I just keep y the same. I actually get 2, 5. So this would be g, and this would be g prime. So I can actually just move this 6 units to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And as you see, it's 2, 5, which we predicted when we did it that way. So that will be g prime. And so I can just take each point and move it 6 units to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that would be here. And that would be j prime. And then do the same for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it'll be right here. And that will be u prime. And then you can just connect your dots here. So you would do from here to here. And then you would do from here to here. And then you would do from here to here. So you can kind of see they're the same. I just slid it over 6 units. So then if I look finally at this fourth example, I can slide it over. It's telling me to add 3 to the x value and then minus 5. So let's look at what this happens in the y value. So if I start at 0, 0, that means I'm going to add 3 to the x, so I'm going to go right. And then it says take your y-axis and go minus 5. So that means I'm going to go down. So this means I'm going right 3 and down 5. Or you could do that, or you can actually take each point. So f is the point 1, 2, 3, negative 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So f is negative 3, 4. And I can actually add 3 to x, so I would get f, this will be f prime. If I add 3 to negative 3, I get 0. And if I subtract 5 from 4, I get negative 1. So my new point is actually going to be 0, negative 1 for f prime. So that'll be right here. So f prime is going to be right there. And then, so then I can just you could do that with all the points over here if you wanted to, or you can just do right 3 down. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one's going to be down here. That's v prime. And then y prime is going to be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So lost it. So right there, and that'll be y prime. And then you can connect the dots here. Okay, so you get the point there. So it'll be the new image. Okay, so I might ask you to list the points. You just got to tell me what those points are. All right, and the last thing is, what if I took the figure away? So I don't think you'll have any questions about this, but it's just good to know. So this says take any point x and y and add 1 to x and 5 to y. So it's nice because it already gives you the point. So to translate an image, remember the new points are going to be with primes. That indicates a new point. So if I add 1 to negative 4, because that's my x, I get negative 3. And if I add 5 to negative 2, I get 3. So n prime would be negative 3, 3. I do the same to v. So v prime, negative 1 plus 1 is going to be 0. Negative 1 plus 5 is going to be 4. So that's v prime. And then finally q prime will be add 1 to negative 4, I get negative 3. And I add 5 to 5, I get 0. So I don't even have to graph it. I can just use that notation so I can figure out those points. So that's the first video. You should be able to do the Desmos activity. And then once you do the Desmos activity, I have a video to show you exactly how to do it if you're confused on how to do that activity. So make sure you watch that.